Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Live with Roger Hanson. Today is my topic on strangeness. It's going to be a good one. We've actually gone over some stuff that's pretty good on here, and we also did some guest appearances on pirate radio, which was a pretty good experience, I guess. But it uh, sparked me into doing something that I've actually had an interest in for a while now, and that is transdimensional beings. Um, Now, let me kind of explain this. There's paranormal, and then there's parapsychology. Now, parapsychology is another approach to the paranormal. All right, like people talk about ghosts, they talk about UFOs. You always hear about crop circles and things like that. Now, that's paranormal. Then you have parapsychology. You have people who take a look at these things and then they try to relate it to old lore, like in Ireland and Scotland and England and all over Europe and well, the whole world. Actually, there's lore of leprechauns and elves and gnomes and things like that. And if you look at them closely, you can tell that there is a resemblance between what we consider UFOs and aliens today to those entities or deities from the past, and it's a constant. And a parapsychologist looks at that and they ask themselves, is this a psychological thing that humans have developed, and it's just something that's happened all through our time being here on this planet, or are these actually spirits, entities, transdimensional beings, things of that nature. So that's the parapsychology. Now, they also deal with things like they'll take little robots and they'll put them on like a pool table kind of table where they have corners, and they'll have them marching. Hello, hello, you there, Karma?
I'm here. Yeah, I apologize for being late.
Oh,
But
it's the first time you've been late, so.
second, I was like 10 minutes late, I think last Sunday too.
Oh, that's
Like
right.
6:10.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep track of my mishaps. But yeah, what have I missed? What have I
Um,
missed?
Now, today, what I'm wanting to do is because we actually had or you actually had a pretty good conversation on pirate radio, and there was something that we did last week concerning the skinwalkers, which we brought up on that Halloween special, and all through the time that it was being discussed, it made me think of transdimensional uh, entities. So today I kind of want to go over that, and they're also called hyperdimensional. So that kind of goes into some of the stuff that me and you've discussed too, like when you mentioned that was in agreement, on that part with the receptors in the brain and stuff. It
Yeah.
it kind of goes into that, which, by the way, I think we both kind of came to a mutual understanding of it, because remember I was talking about you can't have just a spiritual life. It has to be physical, mental, and spiritual. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Interconnected.
interconnected. You can't have one without the other. And
Mhm.
when you were talking about that, that's kind of what brought it up with me on like the trans-dimensional thing, because like when I was going over Skinwalker Ranch, what that doctor, what was her name again?
Rita.
Doctor Rita. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was talking about a lot of the stuff that I'd read about, and there was also like strange things that happen that are just way beyond the Skinwalker, like UFO sightings and things like that, and then cow mutilations and things. And in the book, the most interesting part about those cow mutilations is like the people that freaking witnessed them was standing no more than maybe 3 feet away from these cows. And then they turned their head one moment, turned back, and all of a sudden, bam, there it was right in front of them.
But no trace of anything that could have done it.
No trace, nothing.
That's crazy.
See, and when I read that, that's where I started thinking about transdimensional beings or transdimensional entities that could travel between dimensions and do this stuff, because they've also talked about portals, they've talked about orbs and things of that nature, you know.
Have you ever seen The Looper?
Well, describe what a looper is first.
Well, it's a movie. I mean, the movie itself, when they were like able to teleport and like transport from by teleportation, obviously rather quickly, just at a thought. And then how about Lucy? Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen Lucy.
Now, I believe, or I have it under great knowledge that we can obtain that level of education without any type of blue pill or type of robot stuff or anything like that. But when they say how you basically disappear, and they'll say if you do get to that level, you disappear. Now there's a way to maintain your physical existence as well, but it's why people kind of have those things to where you talk about like souls latching on to like just things in order to maintain their identity or to maintain their presence. So when you transfer yourself, because like you can interchange existences too with, but you would have to be very conscious. You have to be like it would have to be a very conscious transaction. It wouldn't be able to be. I mean, you could take someone else's identity through transferring, but they would be unaware, which would make it to where it would be an uneven transfer, so you would not be able to embody the full capacity of the potential of like just like the skill. So, but there wouldn't be a reason to take someone weak. That would be more so it like you would exchange with something that is either equal or ascended as to you, and so or willing to do such. And so when you are transferring like okay, so we wouldn't want to obtain Lucy's level of education because supposedly you just turn into some liquid and just disappear. But the truth of the matter is, when you are able to transfer, it's not that you get weak, but you lose a little bit. But you still have it in your spirit. So your physical is already different because you've transferred, and now your spirit has the access to the same capability, the same capacity, but because when you do any type of interaction, that's work being put in, and then that's you losing the amount of energy. You still be able to maintain, again, like I said, physical existence. You alter your physical existence without surgery. Like how you can see people who look so different. They'll make it seem like age. And like, oh, by the way, the Chandler guy did not drown, but whatever. And you will be able to, I don't know, if you change your cheeks, so like working out, and if you work out and you become a new position, that's a new physical existence. You really experience the death and a rebirth, and when with each transformation, each transition, you're able to, depending on what you transition into, experience a heightened awareness, a heightened intelligence. And so it's just cool because, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's cool to me because, like, we think that we have to kind of be limited by what we are and have no idea of what we can be because we've been told that all there is what we see. All
Well,
right.
that right there though is a block. You know what I mean? Like things that block you from progressing in life. You know what I mean? Like I think something's like up against your. Or is it really windy
Oh,
there?
it's the fan. No, it's the. Hold on. I'm laying the fan.
Oh,
I'm
that,
off of it now. It's better, right?
yeah, it's a lot better. Now, like for me, that's what I think. I think those are blockers, you know, and I think they're put up on purpose because like they're controls, and a lot of people don't really understand what controls are. You know, like we talk about control people trying to control you all the time, but when you take a look at the actual idea of what a control is, you have to like think about when you go into a factory, you know what I mean, and they're working
Mm-hmm.
on these they're working with this machinery and stuff that's dangerous. What they do is
Mm-hmm.
they put controls up to prevent you from touching this or going in this area, and they mark them off. You know what I mean? Those are controls, and
See,
they
it's
don't.
funny you thought of it like that. The first thing when you're talking about restrictions. Those are restrictions, but when I'm thinking of control, I'm thinking an operation mechanism of how the machine itself even works, and then being someone, something at the helm, even if it's just the code. They're the same with us because we are like the original code, and so like, but go ahead, because what I hear what you're saying when you're talking about being controlled or having control. It's something to
Or
where
having controls within your mind, which are preventing you
mm,
from going
or
from.
someone else at your controller, like
Yeah,
someone else operating you. Okay, now that's where I see it more as like you, because we are, like we said,
or
we're computer
something,
systems.
or
Yep,
something.
something.
It
Energy
could.
itself,
Yeah.
and energy itself manipulating your sensories, manipulating your reactors, like yeah, and that's what this is currently. The whole we live in a simulation, as is above, as is below, like more like how I mean, like literally a recreation of what we actually are, but with just experimentation, so much implemented experimentation to where we are feeling separated from what we are actually interlocked to. And if we create you in separation, like you're not going to be able to, you don't even know your function. Like if you're not connected to the other components that make you work, like within a car, like I was using that example before, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to, you don't, to you have no function because you're not doing anything. You're not in place with what you need to be linked with in order for you to operate properly. You're just sitting in a box on a shelf
Mm-hmm.
until you have an actual duty, until you get actually connected to those components that show you what your function is and help you to operate efficiently. And it's a matter of the divide and conquer that we've all been speaking of in order for there to be control of the overall simulation, because somebody, not somebody though, but energy above is sitting and playing the game to see how it's going to work. But that's what we think.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually just releasing our willingness to play the game. Right? That we're too tired. We're too busy. We're too whatever it is that's going to take us away from actually gaining insight of who we are and our capabilities. So we allow someone else to do it for us. Too lazy is what it is. We're not willing to actually, and afraid. Too afraid is more like it. Too lazy, or unaware. We could do
Well,
unaware, but we know that's
let me
there.
let me throw a curveball real quick, okay? Some of
Mm-hmm.
the things that have been thought of as trans-dimensional beings, okay? Now, here's a list of them. One is the Thunderbird. Yet, Yeti, or the Bigfoot, is another one. Then you have Chupacabra, the Chupacabra. Then the Jersey Devil. Then you have the Hellhound. And then the Loch Ness Monster. Now, as trans dimensional beings with everything you just said, how do you believe those would fit into the
They
equation?
would do that so that way you wouldn't know what you could actually be. They'll tell you that, oh, okay, this is what a transdimensional being is. So that way, oh, there's no way I could ever be that. But of course, you're not. They make it a far fetched story. They don't even condone those stories as being accurate, true, or any type of validity. But you're a transdimensional being. I'm a transdimensional being. I mean, like especially upon ascension, through enlightenment. But we'll tell you that it's a yeti, and so you don't reach your full potential. Wow, that's insane. Like people are just gross. I can't. When you said that, not even think for a minute that those they consider those. No, they're not. Those are just stories that, oh, you got to be kidding me. This is what they're telling people are transdimensional. It's not though, because we're transdimensional, and so we wouldn't even think about becoming ourselves because we would be told that ourselves is so outside of ourselves. That makes sense in that case as to why we wouldn't, because then we could just operate upon basically the control settings. Okay, the control settings are these are transdimensional beings, not you. So I definitely am not even going to look over there. That's a waste of time to consider this constant urge to be more because I could never. These type of things are like that, not me. It's insane, man. I didn't know that that's how that was gonna go.
Now, that brings me to modalities. What do you think about? Have you ever heard of modalities?
Model modality modules. So,
Now,
I've not no. I feel like I have, but what I see it to be is probably not what you're gonna tell me it is. The same with transdimensional. So
modalities are usually used in like massage therapies and stuff like that. Um, the Japanese have a Japanese form of massage. It's based on the belief that's rooted in the idea that energy force lines, which are called QI, um, they those are the lines for them, and but what the Qui is, it's vital energy that's held to animate your body internally, and it's the central uh, important
yeah, that's what I see it to
Eastern
be.
systems of medical treatment. Like they use it in acupuncture wherever they put the needles and stuff, and self defense, Tai Chi. They use it on there too. So it's the key, is what it is. It's what
I
you
is so the chi
the
the
key
chi or the cree the
the
chi the key. Okay, when you said modality,
yeah.
and I told you I didn't know what, or I was going to
It's
say
a
it's
form
something
of
else.
modalities, is what it is.
Yeah, but for me, I was going to say that it's the base of how something is, the model of how something's supposed to be, and then when you look it up in a dictionary, it tells a particular mode in which something exists or is experienced or is expressed, and that's what I saw it to be, the model, the representation of how something is.
Now,
Um,
shiatsu massages it aim
that's
to remove blockages to the flow of the ki. Um, this is an active form of massage, often performed on the floor. Now, like on the Jeffersons, when you seen Mr. Jefferson laying on the floor and what's his name, his neighbor,
the neighbor stepping on them. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
walking on him. That's what that's supposed to be. It's one of the massages they do on there, which they don't have to take off their clothes or anything, and the therapist uses either their elbow, their knees, their feet, and to apply pressure. And
My massage lady did this. Well, she's not mine because I've had better. But one time, this lady I used to go to, she stood on my back like it was wild because I've seen it on TV and never had it happen before. And she's like stepping on me. Oh, it felt so good though. I feel I could. I tell the kids to step on me all the time. I well, not all the time as much anymore, but yeah, I love it. And but my oldest one, he steps on you, I'm going through the floor. He's yeah, my
now,
linebacker.
uh, shiatsu actually means finger pressure. So that would that would be being able to transfer energy with your finger. I've heard of people saying they could do that.
Yeah,
Um,
like with mantras.
uh,
Mantras, but transferring to others with your finger, yeah, at the touch. But yeah, I mean, like that's a weakened form. I mean, you can transfer energy without at all touching anything. I feel like when you get to that level, that's when you start experiencing a whole different type of like I would say exhilaration. Just you would like for more. You know what I mean? Like especially when you can do it without the aid of anything, like without drugs or without machinery, without when you can literally just like look at something and kind of tell it what to do or tell it what you expect of it for it to understand who you are and or what it is and what it's going to do. Just control, being able to control it. But because we can do that, but the modality is that we're not able to. So
Now, the Thai massage is another active form of massage, incorporating stretches and body movements similar to yoga. Traditionally, this is performed with the client fully clothed and on a mat on the floor. Now, the interesting fact in Thailand, you may be asked if you want oil massage, which is the result of a Western tourist being more accustomed to Swedish massages.
you said oil massage.
Yeah, now traditionally, Thai massages doesn't use oil apart from in medicinal treatments. So apparently they use medicinal treatment massages as well. And then you have a couple of other ones like the Lumi Lumi. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. It was
I've
the
never heard of a lumi lumi.
now Lumi Lumi is a traditional Hawaiian massage, and uh, it does incorporate oil. It's a very oily massage, and but with that one, they also do prayers, breathing, and humming, and then they dance. Um, the Lumi Lumi tradition believes that memories are stored in the body as well as the mind, and that massage allows us to let go of patterns, behaviors, and trauma stored in the body. So they literally believe that you're storing the memories and the traumas and all that within your body, and when you do the Lumi Lumi, it releases it.
The thing about it is that's the truth. Like trauma is and that's how we have certain reactions to and responses to certain occurrences, especially if they're repeating itself. If you're used to someone stopping short, just to use a light example, when a
Oh,
car accident, you have to help your mom. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm gonna mute this real quick. But go ahead and
Okay.
keep talking until I get back.
Oh, okay. Well, when you have been into a car accident and a car accident has made it to where like the car stops short and now every time you feel like a car has stopped short you go back to that moment. That's a stored response because of an action that has happened. So when we are thinking about trauma, when we have something that it keeps occurring, let's just use a relationship now, a little a broader experience. Whereas you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend who every time she goes out, she doesn't call you. She never calls you. She never texts back. She's always too busy. And then, and at first you're just trusting, like, oh, whatever she's told me she's doing it. It's no big deal. Like, it's like, no, come on, babe's just chilling. And then you find out that she's been cheating on you. Now she turns up pregnant and the baby ends up being someone else's. Whoa, wait a minute. I thought you were. Hold on. I thought you were at work all those times. You telling me you were with a guy? I just what in the world? Then you do it again, and you attempt to have a connection to someone, and then they tell you they're at work and they're not answering the phones and they're not texting back in a timely fashion. and now you're starting to get flashbacks. You're like, man, last time that happened, this girl was having babies, so you might ask them this question. And they're like, oh no, hon, I'm not cheating. Of course not. I'm really breaking. You this time you take initiative. You're like, you ask those questions that you never even considered before because you took people's word for what it was, and then you find out later on they're cheating. You even asked, wait a minute, I even asked, what do you mean you were cheating this whole time? So now you move on to your next relationship. In your next relationship, same type of occurrence. She never answers the phone. She's always unresponsive when she's away from you, but seemingly always seems to have her phone. And like this is like the best relationship like you've ever been. She always has her phone, but she doesn't really talk to you when you want to talk. You know what I mean? She doesn't
Yeah.
talk when you want her to talk to you. And then you so now you're traumatized. You know what I mean? The past two relationships, first one you never even asked, second one you asked and she lied, and then you found out wow she really was cheated, and this one you're like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't, I want to ask, and but if I ask, she might just lie. I want to trust her, but I mean, like, I really don't trust her because I've been traumatized. So now you follow her. So now you're stalking her. You stalking her. You're
Mhm.
doing a whole bunch of illegal stuff just to find out what she has going on because you are too afraid to ask because you've been traumatized. You are too afraid to leave it alone because you've been traumatized. So now you're putting yourself in it. She catches you one day. She catches, well, what are you doing? Why are you following me? Uh, you never answer the phone and blah 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 blah. But all along and behold, she's a hustler. She's out here wanting you guys to move in together. She's already working on a house. She knows she that you guys like. And I know this sounds crazy, right? But it's the truth. This caused the reason you felt how you felt was because of your stored trauma. You have stored trauma, and you respond to certain instances in ways that I mean, like you would not have normally responded to had that the trauma presented itself. But it's able to be released, like you said, this massage being one of them. But
Mhm.
in regards to other things before those people that because they know the power and abilities and healing capabilities of massages, it's why only a few select individuals are such a privy to experience such. Imagine if that was part of standard healthcare. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
have to. Like you have to go like pap smears. You're supposed to go get pap smears, and you're supposed to get what's those colonoscopies or whatever. All the crap they tell you you have to do. But like they don't. Why is not a massage? You know, oh, you have to make sure you go to healing therapy as well. We'd love to make sure that you're releasing all that stored trauma. We've had a lot of crazy events happening, right? Look at that war, and then we opened up another war over
See,
there,
like
and then we
right there too. Okay. Like with what you were talking there, for me, I can see a lot of well, you know how I said it's physical, emotional, spiritual. Like I can see a lot of the emotional stress there. You know, stuff like that. But
right.
like, think about what it's doing to you on a physical level as well. Like your blood pressure's going up. You're probably hyperventilating. You know, just
Gaining
because.
weight, losing weight, unable
Mm-hmm.
to eat overeating. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it just hair falling out. Yep.
Yeah,
But
or
you,
turning gray.
mm-hmm.
I've got gray hair for a reason, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, after probably not having anything like that. And but you know what's so crazy for me, because I see the world for what it is now. I see everyone has an agenda, right? And I know that people can only access you as free willingly giving as you are. And that was one of my main reasons for stepping back from like social media and like interacting with people, because people are grossly greedy. You know what I mean? They you get a little bit and they just keep taking, 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 taking. Especially when you say, hey, hold on, I gotta save some for myself and make myself great. You'll never be great. And they'll just like, completely latch on to you and they'll start leeching you. And so when you are sharing yourself, you're like people are literally manipulating you. We're talking about being under control. People realize the ability to control, and it's not even just the simulation now. It's the simulation being created within the simulation in order to
mm-hmm.
simulate the simulation. And oh wait, they can do this. This is really true. Oh, there's aliens. Let me make my own aliens. Oh, there's this. Let me do this. Let me, and then. But taking advantage in the process. In the process, they're having things to where they're, excuse me, allowing or altering how you think. They're creating devices that make it to where it can change your mind. I mean, like You said we can say what we want to say, but like thinking about the COVID vaccine and stuff, like people are injecting things into their system in order for stuff to kind of work in a favor of an
Yeah.
overall purpose without knowledge of it at all. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I mean, like then and now the savior's going to come and he's going to inject some bull crap in you as well, but you're not going to know because you're going to be like, "Oh man, you're here to save us," and like, no,
Yep.
it's not.
That's
But you
really
know,
what it comes down to. People expect outside influences to take care of all their problems.
and they
Yeah.
don't look inside because the outside influence are the ones that have created the circumstances. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to me, I expect the outside influences. If you, especially if you're not going to clean up your mess, like if you're going to keep throwing trash on the ground, we're going to ban you from the park. That's true. It's illegal to loiter. So if you're throwing trash on, excuse me, loitering is illegal, soliciting is illegal, and so which would mean your voice in my head is solicitation, and that is illegal, especially if I did not welcome you here. You would have to get my permission first to say, hey, can I plant right here and kind of just sell my noise? Oh yeah, absolutely, sure, why not? If not, it's illegal, right? You're not supposed to do it. Now
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about littering, if you're going to pour dirt on my name and you can keep throwing trash, if I go to any business and I just keep throwing trash in their ground in front of their business, and the manager's like, hey man, no littering. Okay, okay, no littering. And then they keep coming back. I keep coming back. And I'm throwing like, hey, I said no litter. And they keep giving me chance after chance after chance after chance. This is the outside source, outside thing coming inside my establishment, coming, and we're not even in the parking lot. We're inside the store. Keep coming inside my establishment, throwing trash on the ground. I've asked them several times not to do that. Eventually, what's going to happen? They're going to get kicked out. And if they show up after I've trespassed them, now what happens? I'm calling the police. Hey, I told them to stop doing this. They keep coming here doing this. I didn't want any problems. I didn't hit them. I didn't go look for them. Hey, you over there throwing the trash on the ground. Come in here and throw some trash in here so I can kick you out and tell you not to do it. No, that's not how it happened. They
Yeah.
took it upon themselves to come in no. So that's in that case, you are expecting the outside thing to kind of get the on through. Stop soliciting. Stop loitering. Stop
Well,
littering. You do
everybody
expect that.
everybody keeps talking about vampires. I mean, on a
Ah,
transdimensional level, I mean, don't you believe that there's people who want to drain your energy so that it makes them stronger?
exactly. So why not feed them poison? If you know something is actively attempting to access you without giving you just, we'll say, restitutions, and not making sure that you're even look. So you're a vampire. So you be drinking blood. You be sucking people's blood. So you stay up all night, huh? I'm trying to stay up
Well,
all
what
night.
if
What's
it's
up?
not blood? I mean, what if it's your energy?
That's your
What?
energy. Well, I mean, I was just saying if you were having a
Yeah, I
basic
know.
conversation, there's something you could get from that vampire as well. But you
Mm-hmm.
mean you're just gonna come and just drink me all up, and I'm not gonna get that? No, 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 it's not gonna happen like that. It's not gonna
I,
happen. I'm gonna give you poison. I promise you're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna kill yourself, and then they're gonna attempt to reverse it and make it to where it feels like you, but you're stronger because you prepared for this state for so long, and so you have the ability. You're supposed to anyway. Not everyone does that. They kind of let the vampire make them kill themselves, and now all these people are popping up dead. Like that man did not drown. I was
mm-hmm.
just like telling you for a fact. He keeps saying it. He's telling me he hasn't stopped telling me he's not dead and he did not drown. And I am not dead. I did not drown. And someone has or habitated his existence, and we're gonna see that soon. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not everyone maybe, but like I already see it now, so I don't know. I don't know
Now,
how that goes.
here we go, right here. What is hyperdimensional beings? We got level 0 is knowledge of dimensions, just knowing knowledge of dimensions. Level 1 is supposed to be time travel, according to this guy. Level 2 is teleporting. Level 3 is demonstrating timeless moments. Level 4, literally biologically immortal, can only die by certain weaknesses, if at all. Then you have level 5, can physically or at the soul level enter alternate dimensions. Then you have level 6, doesn't live in the ordinary world, nearly omniscient, essent, or highly magical. Then you have level 7, which is ascendant, travels great distances within dimensions and changes the nature of dimensions. Then you have level 8, travels between several dimensions virtually at will. Then level 9, higher dimensional magical powers. Knowledge beyond power means something special and practical. Then there's level 10, uses one dimension to live in another as a
Hold on,
habit.
wait a second. There it go. The mic was cutting out, but it's good now. Go ahead. So can
Okay,
you do level 10 again, though?
yeah, it says uses one dimension to live in another as a habit. Super nomad between dimensions. Then you have level 11, dimensions permanently magically obsolete. That's weird. Dimensions permanently magically obsolete.
Yeah, they have no, not that they don't have meaning, but it's just like you are what is, you just exist. It's not even a study anymore. It's not all the, you have to read all these books to get here. Like, yeah, you got to do that or that helps. But like reading everything and not believing what it is not really helping you get anywhere at all. It's just you having awareness of something that you kind of deny and denounce. So it's one of those things to where nothing is, but everything is absolute. There's nothing, but there's everything at the same time of there being nothing. They kind of coexist. And because they are the same thing, they don't just coexist, they actually are the same thing. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. But you have to look at it on the level of creation and from where everything starts. Like you just start with a plan of I'm going to build this house or I'm going to make this car or I'm going to build this business, and then you start there and then you go grow into something. So you start with nothing and then you grow into something, but that means that that thing is absolutely nothing because that's all it came from, and so it can go back to that as easily as it began.
Okay, so he explains it. He says that you should also see uh, hyper souls. So the hyper soul, the most efficient soul formula by far appear to be AB. If you are not A, you are aware of B, therefore A. Variant A, sublimate B, C, D. If you are not A, you are aware of B, C, D, therefore A. Now, it goes on to revised, and its higher numbers now seem to be earlier models, though not much research has been done. So this is a placeholder until hypersoul formulas can be developed. Hypersouls is still thought to be a real concept. Negative 2 tile divided by 6 categories equals
Well,
4 formula for souls. That's crazy. Subs-
I mean, like, why would you even explain someone at what they are in those type of methods? Like, you're just really like throwing it in their face. Like honestly, how do you make everyone understand that? Like, how do you? How do you? I mean, because it's supposed to be a universal concept. That's what it is. Nothing in it. That's exactly what that is. Like, yeah, okay, you're giving labels to absolutely everything, but denying the fact that it's absolutely nothing. If everything has a label, then that's attempting to make it something when it actually is nothing. Like, you have to get people to be able to accept that everything is nothing, not solidify it being something and then it being that nonsense. Nothing, not his hustle. Shout out to him. He knows a whole bunch of numbers and formulas more than I do, type thing. I guess, like,
like,
whatever. But
I don't know
bro, like,
about all
I'm
that.
just saying, like, no, that's not like you got to really understand who you are. Like that's just like what in the world. Like, I'm not gonna bring my kid that for bedtime stories. Give me
yeah,
something we can
yeah.
feel types. Yeah, you gotta like. No, man. There's no. Te lo prometo, la
No,
paciento.
I'm gonna
Shut
post
up.
the link on here. I've been posting these on here as we go,
Yeah, I
so
saw one. That's where I saw the other one, the massage one. I grabbed it. I'm not organized yet, but I did start twisting the boy's hair. Then I got tired of it and I went to sleep,
now
and
we
so there was that.
now we get into the really nitty gritty. This is the good stuff. this goes into Einstein. Now, Einstein applied theories for extra dimensions, which would give the universe a curvature, i.e., space and time are curvy and bend. It applies that there had to be more than four dimensions that the universe exists in. Now it'd be a huge coincidence if all life in the universe existed perfectly within 3D physics, with no ability to interrupt, move through, and use any of the other dimensions. We called this possible category of most likely extraterrestrial life hyperdimensional. Essentially, physics would imply that these beings may not even be formed with matter, maybe travel through time like we can walk through space, teleport across the universe by sheer force of will, manipulate gravity, etc. You can really go crazy with what might exist out there. It quickly starts to sound more like science fiction than anything truly scientific. And that's because we don't have a lot of science needed to understand what the universe would even look like if we could observe all dimensions. However, most would agree that we could ever communicate with these beings. No, would agree that if we could ever communicate with these beings, it would be pretty surreal, magical to experience, almost fantastic, like meeting literal gods. It's entirely possible they're just floating around out there, completely unbound by time and thus immortal and eternal, building and shaping worlds and life for their own amusement. Who knows? The stars themselves could even be conscious outside of four dimensions, and they may even view other life on Earth. No, they may even view our life on Earth as a complete natural and physical process, as we do the flow of a river or the passing of weather. That's pretty
Now
cool.
that, now that, now that is something we could put in a short story and make sure that gets distributed to the kids. That last part was definitely where it's at.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's crazy because who you said who you dropped the link right of the person that wrote this.
Uh, it's one of the comments. He was just he knew what he was saying, but I don't think he was trying to write a book. That's what's so weird about it.
But it's not even a bad thing. What he did was right because he was a. But you know why it I love what he did, right? But he questioned himself. I don't like that part because he's nervous about it being true because he knows it's true. But I don't want you to look at me like I'm the guy with the tinfoil hat. We need more people to not give a crap, put their tinfoil hats on proudly, and walk around this like to where, oh, you're not wearing a tinfoil hat. Oh, I'm unconscious, and just walk away from them like, you know what I mean, type of
Yeah.
thing. Like, then and that's where we go with it because honestly he was speaking so many true points and so many facts, but then he kind of was like, who's to say or who doesn't know? You know, and let people know that you know and be comfortable in knowing, staying proudly and firm in the fact that you know, because your awareness is what creates your infinity. Your awareness is what brings you your immortality. Because once somebody else denies their immortality, once somebody else denies their capability, it's free grabs. When you tell someone what the truth is and they deny it, I love it. That's like one of it's just like, oh man, better than orgasm because honestly, it goes to me. If you don't believe in what I'm giving you or what's being
So
offered to you, even if
hold
it's
on,
not from me,
hold on a minute.
you
Did you just say that like orgasms are
oh my
hyperdimensional?
gosh, come on, move on past that. Move past the wet
Hy-
panties with you. You understand? Move
hyperdimensional
past.
orgasms. You just said
Have
you
you
had
never?
a.
Have you never? Have you seriously never? Oh my god, that's like I used to have them a lot more often. I haven't been masturbating as much as I usually do
No,
or
I'm
used to.
I'm I'm
But
talking about
it,
hyperdimensional orgasms. I'm not.
but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying in regards to it. It's still masturbation, even if it's with your mind. Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you kidding? Where you don't use any tools and you don't use, and it's literally just the thought and the ability to connect with the energy. Heck yeah, you've never done the God. Oh man, who are you screwing?
Okay,
You really
so
got to get with these guys.
so we need to get on to the most interesting part. You're big on talking about like the computer aspects and being in a program. All right. So I want to go over something called hyperdimensional computing. All right. Now, have you ever heard of hyperdimensional computing?
Yeah, I heard of it, but I'm not versed.
Okay, so it's referred to as HDC. All right, and hyperdimensional computing is an approach to computation, particularly artificial intelligence, where information is represented as a hyperdimensional long vector, an array of numbers. A hyperdimensional vector, hypervector, could include thousands of numbers that represents a point in a space of thousands of dimensions. Vector symbolic architecture is an older name for the same broad approach. Data is mapped from the input uh, space to sparse HD space under an encoding function. Representations are stored in data structures that are subject to corruption by noise or hardware failures. No- yeah. Noisy, corrupted HD representations can still serve as input for learning, classification, etc. They can also be decoded to recover the input data. H is typically restricted to range limit integers. That would be a control, in my opinion. Now, this is analogous to the learning process conducted by fruit flies uh, of fact no OL no of by
I'm
fruit
gonna mute,
flies
but
of
I'm still
factory
listening.
systems. Okay. The input is roughly 50-dimensional vector corresponding to odor receptor neuron types. The HD representation uses 2000 dimensions. 2000 dimensions. So, HDC algebra reveals the logic of how and why systems makes decisions. Unlike artificial neural networks, physical world objects can be mapped to hypervectors to be processed by the algebra. HD is suitable for in memory computing systems which compute and hold data on a single chip, avoiding data transfer delays. Analog devices operate at low voltage. They are energy efficient but prone to error generating noise. HDCs can
Like that
tolerate
beeping in the
such
background.
terrors.
Oh,
Huh?
go ahead. Do you not hear the beeping in the background? It's really
No.
loud for me. That's why I was wondering. No,
No,
of course
I
you don't.
can't.
You hear
Mm-mm.
the beeping.
Now, various teams have developed low power HDC hardware accelerators. Nanoscale memoristive devices can be exploited to perform computation in a memory hyperdimensional computing system can implement operations on two memoristive crossbar engines together with peripheral digital CMOS circuits. Experiments using 760,000 phrase change memory devices performing analog in memory computing achieved accuracy comparable to software implementations. That's just crazy. I'm gonna stop talking
Basically,
there.
so yeah, no, yeah, but it makes sense, and yeah, I appreciate what you just said because it was more like a revelation of already what is seen and witnessed. So it's cool because you just gave me an explanation to what I already knew, but I was unable to explain. So now I understand what's happening, or then I know something was happening, and I knew that. But like
I
just
just
being able to do that was able to.
I
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
figure like if you get into conversations with people about that again, just bring up hyper dimensional computing. Okay, it's also used in AI, and it's been around for a while. A lot of people don't understand that concept. Like a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is like real science. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know, and I never even studied it. That's why I think it's dope. It's just like I'm smart. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, well, I did study it. I did study it, but I studied it with an alternative method, hence the gel, alternative energy restoration. Because the stuff people studied in books, I literally studied from nature and was able to reach the same aptitude, or not same. I mean, like, because I don't stay on it. Like, I'm sure if I would have, like, there's certain parts of it that certain components that I kind of I store but I don't necessarily use. Whereas and I feel like that's with every.
Oh, shit. I did it again.
I focus aspect universal globalism as opposed to just right here. Because once I move from right here, same with my house. This is my house right here. If I move to Canada, it's not my house. If I move to California, it's not my house. I move to New Jersey, it's not my house. This is my house here. But when I go over there, it's not so. So it's like making this here. You know what I mean? It serves its purpose while here, but what's going to serve me while there? It has to be something that serves me while there. It has to be continue. You know what I mean? Anywhere I go, it should be something that I'm able to utilize. I cannot sleep in this house anymore. If I go to Jersey, like this, it's not happening. There's no way for it to. But it serves its purpose where it's at, and kind of thing. When it's necessary, I'm going to Florida. I'm going back to my house in Florida. Type. It's here when I come here. So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it like you're going to travel with everything that you are, everything that you have. You're supposed to anyway. The important stuff is going to go with you regardless. So, what are you going to nourish? What are you going to flourish? What are you going to enhance upon? What is that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be able to elevate? And with that, it's going to be who you are, your energy, the energy you choose to incorporate. I mean, like, because all that stuff is great when it's time to build a house. You know what I mean? When it's time to fight, be ready, be able to fight. Definitely. I'm not telling you, oh, I'm not a fighter, so I'm not even going to engage. Well, that's just foolish. Engage with absolutely everything you presented. There's a purpose and a reason that is being presented to you. But what you utilize and what you keep on a consistent basis on the forefront, that could be completely different. And that's going to be based off of necessity, based off of your position in this whole, whether you're an alternator, whether you're a starter, you know what I mean? Like machinery is going to be different in creating all of these simple parts because they do different jobs. So yeah, the battery didn't go through the same functionality that the tires went through. Functionality test that the tires went through. The tires didn't go through the same functionality that the seatbelts went through. Yeah, but they're all again in the same exact car, like all of it. And then just be under the category of a car, and they're able to transport. So you got to look at symbolism in that, and the ability to transport and travel. And I could do this forever. Like I already,
Okay.
you know what I mean, type of thing.
Now,
But
now,
yeah,
now,
that's
what
it.
we have to talk about with everything you've said and what we've
Did you
discussed
go to
with.
sleep? Where
No,
are you at?
I'm right here.
There's no talking and there's no
Oh,
beeping.
oh, okay. Sorry, I had it muted again. So with everything that you've talked about, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and what we've discussed with these articles here, let's go back over the topic that I wrote down. Okay, now we've we've
Transdimensional humans.
we've started talking about trans-dimensional entities. Okay, but let's also expand that into things like crop circles,
Hmm.
aliens, and
Aliens.
how
There's no
these
such.
how could these incidents relate to or be explained as beings from another dimension? Could they possibly be transdimensional entities that we've discussed in those forms? You know, rather than being ghosts or aliens and the like. You
Yeah,
know, could
because there's
they
no such thing as aliens. They're not aliens. They're
could
just
they
higher
be
intelligent beings.
could they be trans-dimensional beings from a different dimension? You know,
But
stuff like
being
that.
from different dimensions can like you can go to a different dimension, Roger.
Right.
Like as
Well,
Rod, you know what I mean.
what about
So you would.
what about these sightings though? What if like you said that I could do it,
They're
you
from
can
this
do it,
dimension. They're just
anybody
changed in
can.
form. I mean, they're here. So they're here, and it's not like they just disappear. They just change form. They have the ability to become whatever they feel like becoming. So they become something different. People have this
Hmm.
ability now. That whole downloading a new body, they got this concept from the ability to be able to transform and to be able to be something different out it within this dimension. Like people do this
Hmm.
right now. Like I know for a fact, people, I 100%, 1,000% sure people quote unquote download these new bodies. They've run the trials and they're ready to present to the world
Now,
for
what about crop
phenomenal
circles though?
well, crop circles. I mean, that's just a higher intelligence. Like I don't, they don't, they and what they are. Oh, what they are. They're signals. They're messages, and they're messages for us. They're messages for you to understand what's happening, and they're markers, so we know what we have to do in certain areas and what we're looking for. I'm not gonna tell you all of that because you're not giving me enough for me to be able to do that. I rock with you, but I mean,
Well,
if I'm gonna be
you
honest,
no, you're hitting on stuff. You know what I mean? We've been discussing this stuff. So give me your viewpoint on it.
yeah, no, true
You don't
story
need
though. It
to do
is.
it.
It is. That's what it is. It's for people to know. And I mean, people listen. And I'm be honest with you. It has nothing to do with people. I say people, but that's just who we are right now. We're people, but we've been different things at different times, just depending on what is necessary. So we're human right now, but we'll be something else again soon.
Hmm.
And when you're looking, and it's not going to be a robot. I hate to break it to the world. Just throw that in there. But when you're looking at things and what's happening and what's going on, it's in order for us to communicate because again all these pretty houses and cars, we're going to get rid of them soon, sooner than later. And there'll be no such thing, but we'll have our markers. We'll know what we got to do in certain areas and what we're looking for because the stuff that we're looking for is in the earth. It's not on your house. We don't want to take your kids. It's just gross. And but people that imitate us do and make it look like it would be something that would be natural occurrences and with amongst people like us or people things like this and they'll say oh man you got to watch them they're child killers or child whatevers or whatever, you know what I mean? But really
Hmm.
they are, and it's order for you to be disassociated what we are. Because we say, like, people are gonna live, we're not gonna kill everyone. I mean, it's not gonna be a problem where and it sounds really crazy coming out like this, but I just gotta tell you the truth, and it is the truth. And so but we have to maintain a plane. We have to maintain a physical plane. So this one is it. Unfortunately, it does serve us really. It not unfortunately, but it's the best suited for the practice. The only problem is what's been inhabited on here. So we got to get rid of
Hmm.
a lot of it, and we have to get rid of and because people are so unwilling to change their consciousness, we give so many opportunities to kind of get it right, so we don't have to annihilate everything. And people are like, "No, I'm not gonna do that because it's not cool." And so, fine, whatever, okay. But like you've been warned, type of thing. And yeah, we just need to know where things are going to be at when we get stuff done because there's certain points to make it stronger. We'll be able the energy will be able to like when you see it you got to see it from what it's going to be because they all go together. They're not separate, they're in separate places but they're all connected. We do it on purpose in order for us to know what's happening where. And yeah, no, they're not doing anything now but they will. They can and they have. They can do little stuff individually, but it's them connected, and you'll be able to see the energy first. It's gonna be so cool. Well, it's gonna be cool for me because I'm gonna be on the other side of it. I ain't gonna be on the side where, oh my god, so, but yeah, like it's really it's some of our best work yet. And I mean, like we've been doing this for oh god, forever, honestly. But so yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, we know how it's gonna go, but I mean, guess we'll show you how it goes. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking now. I hope I'm going to stop talking now. But
Well, the the thing is like where I really picked up on this stuff was there's a woman over in England that I referred uh, John to, and I told him he really needs to try to talk to her, and she's a parapsychologist, and she she brings up the fact that like we at one time believed in elves, gnomes, trolls, things of that nature. Um, Different lores throughout time. Now you take a look at today's generation, and it's changed towards ghosts, aliens, UFOs, and crop circles. And then she said, "Well, you take a look at the crop circles. Now you have these crop circles that are popping up in fields, but also 4, 5, 600 years ago, it was even farther back, 2,000 years ago, it was traditional for people in England to who were pagans to go out in these fields when they uh, had sowed not sowed their crops, but whenever they had finished with their crops, and they would do ceremonies and festivals to celebrate the bringing in of the crops, because they were actually doing these festivals to worship their deities. Now, what's to say that that's not
Which is why
connected?
power had been bestowed amongst
Right.
some.
Now,
Hmm.
what's to say that that's not connected to these crop circles that we're seeing today? You know, and what's to say that there isn't some kind of psychological connection with us and having to see things like elves and dwarves and gnomes, UFOs, ghosts,
Having to
entities?
see things. It's not
Yes,
having to see things. They are here. You don't have to see them.
they.
It's because they exist.
No,
You
I
know what I
mean
mean?
it's an honest question. I mean, I know you have your opinion. You know, I have my opinion. She brings up a valid opinion. I mean, it's
But they
true.
think, but it's just a matter of thinking that you have to, and it is not all opinion. It's some very well facts because,
Well,
like, it's not.
uh,
We do see them.
what
It's
she
not these
says
people.
isn't any less valid than what you say. I
What
mean,
I'm saying, yeah,
you know what I mean?
depending on who's listening, because like she's right. She's right. She's saying what's stopping us from having to see these things. The thing about it is nothing stopping us from having to see them. We do not have to see them. The
The
reason we see them is they
the
exist.
the question is it's not seeing them. It's how is it that they keep popping up? Like crop circles isn't something that just a certain group of people see. You know what I mean? Like,
Because they exist. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, she's not saying they don't exist. She's saying what kind of connection do we have to make it to where we see these crop circles? What makes it to where we believe in gnomes, we believe in trolls, we believe in elves, then we start believing in UFOs, we start believing in.
usually people see them, right?
What's to say they're not transdimensional entities that's been here all along, appearing to us the way we want them to be seen?
Oh no, because it doesn't work like that. I'm not going to be who you want me to be because it makes you comfortable. I am who I am, and then if you're able to see me, it's because you are who you
Well,
are.
you're
It's
talking
your
about
energy
yourself, though.
level.
You're
No,
talking
no, in
about yourself.
general, and even these things,
You see?
even a car. I can. Oh, is that a Toyota? Oh, it looks like a Toyota, and you get closer. Oh no, actually, it's an Acura. You know what I mean? You saw it how you thought you saw it,
Well,
but
see
what it
that
is, it still
that steps
was.
back from what we were discussing, though, because like you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying?
How is it both ways? Seeing
Like
something for what it actually is versus what you think it is? It's the same thing. I
like
mean, like you might think it's a Toyota, but it's actually an Acura. You might think it's worthless, but it's actually everything. It's one of those type of
but
things.
we live in a matrix. If
Or
you're
you do, not
no,
all of
no,
us.
I mean, you see, like right there, you can't say you don't live in a matrix. You're here. We're
But
talking.
wait, you cannot. Or am I? Am I here? I'm only here because I choose to be. Because if I'm not any longer here, then I'm not here, right? I'm
But
only here because I choose to show up. If I
no,
stop
I
showing
mean,
up, I'm no
period
longer
on
here.
life. I mean, in the real world, you're
But
here.
look, how do you know how I exist if you don't know me? The only way you can know of my existence is me bringing it to you. And I don't necessarily. What if I? You don't know that. What if I stop coming because I'm dead or by your nature dead? But I am dead to you if I'm no longer here. My life here with you is over, and I have rebirth somewhere else.
I've
Type of
met
thing.
you.
It's
I mean that's
that.
important too. I've
Did
met
you
you.
though? What if I'm not who I say I am? What if
You
I'm just
see,
HDC and I'm just something typed into a
see,
code and I don't really, you know what I mean? But
that's
you're
that's kind of what it gets into. You know what I'm saying? It's like uh, your how you appear. You know what I'm saying? Like
But I only am
that's
going
kind
to
of
appear
the
how you
deal.
see me.
Like people back then didn't think of UFOs. They didn't think of well, they did think of ghosts, but they didn't think of UFOs, and they didn't
Because it was
think of,
normal.
you know what I'm saying. They thought of the elves. They thought of the gnomes. They thought of, because that was something that they could visualize. So
Dwarves exist though. There's dwarfism. Like dwarfs actually exist. They've just dumbed down the terminology, and we don't give them any type of substantial power. Like it's not something that we just hope to see. They really do exist. Things living in different places. What's a troll? It's supposed to live under a bridge. Well, we have plenty of trolls that live under
gnomes,
192.
gnomes, things
What's
like
a
that. But
what's a gnome?
that's what they comprehended, and that's what they saw. You see what I mean?
Be,
That's what they saw. That's what they were capable of seeing. You
But
see?
who's to say that others didn't see other things? That's just what's smart. Because I mean, people have been seeing things and not telling people for ages. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
why tell people if they're going to do stuff to you when you tell them? Why tell people if they're not going to be able to understand what you understand? Why tell like doesn't you get tired of sharing knowledge with people who are closed off? Like, there's no point
Mm-hmm.
at that point. It's like you figure it out on your own. I don't have to help you, and
Well,
that's the point I had got to.
even in your own mind, okay, like there's a lot of things you can't comprehend. There's things that are
Mm.
just way too overwhelming that you can't comprehend. So if
See,
there's
and
a
see when you
if
say you,
no everybody, everybody,
but
okay.
see, that's the terminology that puts it to where it's in place for it to have to be definite and finite. And that's where you're not,
So
and then you're
you're telling
creating
me
it.
that you have complete knowledge of the universe?
I never told you
No,
anything.
I mean
You're assuming that based off of the words that I'm saying. I'm telling you that when you forcefully say something is, it becomes. When you continuously say something is, it's always going to be prevalent until you choose to change what you're associating and being able to describe or how you're describing it. It's going to be that thing. So if I'm always like, oh, I'm worthless. I'm worthless. I become worthless. If I always
right.
become, I don't know what I understand. I don't know I'll never know what I understand. But like, there's ways for you to be able to comprehend absolutely everything. It's just your willfulness to do so. There's ways for you to be able to block out anything that's attempting to access your energy for free and not be able to pay up like they supposed
Mm-hmm.
to. Like, even if you play stupid, I know one thing: the best way to get somebody that thinks you stupid is to be that stupid person that they think that you are. Like, because if you present yourself as with your full capacity, they're going to attempt to go harder. And if you're the hardest, then of course it's going to them
Now
hits are
see,
going to hurt.
that also brings up another aspect of this transdimensional thing. Like there doesn't necessarily have to be just good entities. There's bad entities that want to do stuff like that.
But see, evil doesn't exist. Like evil, there's no such thing as evil because we expel it. Like we allow things to be what it is by free will and take on any form that it feels is necessary for it to operate.
Well,
But that does not mean it's going
let
to
me put it
operate
to you this
consistently.
way: there's entities that want to drain you of.
Oh, I know Elon Musk. Shoot, he's number one entity. Let's talk about Kanye West. Like, let's keep going. We can go for days. I
Yeah,
know these. You talk
I
about
already
me, or
know
you talk about the
you.
world?
I already know
Shit.
you and your Elon Musk thing.
I
You've
mean,
explained
like
that.
you don't need
You've
add
explained
Kanye.
that
Let's
a
add
few
Kanye
times.
on the record. Let's add Kanye on the record. Shit, let's add Aubrey Graham on the record. Let's do that. I mean, Aubrey is a little light. Like, let's go. We can go for days. I've been
Yeah.
doing this for a long, long time, honey.
Yeah. See,
Long,
like
long time.
that's another aspect. Like there's transdimensional entities that aren't just positive. They're not just negative. They don't. They're according to the
They weak
levels.
and they got to
They're
be able to get where you at, and they don't know how to
all right.
do it without being leeches. Exactly. That's like the people I know when I was coming up. They would rob people because they didn't have the money that these other people had. They see people like that, like to kind of rob people in other aspects, and automatically their mind is like, "Well, they robbing me. I get to rob them and get away with it because they
Mm-hmm.
robbing me, and I know they robbing me." Type of thing. But I don't like robbing, regardless of who's doing it, how rich you are, or what type of level of existence you run on. I like robbing is robbing. You're not gonna take anything from me because I ain't taking nothing from you. And if you feel like you're gonna take something from me, well then I do absolutely nothing on the force scene because if I do something on the force scene and you might be able to counteract what I'm doing, I don't want you to be able to counteract. I want to be able to attack your ass and be left alone
Yeah.
about it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say
Mm-hmm.
like no, I'm doing nothing. Because if I ask you to stop and you don't stop, then we have a problem because no means no, stop means stops. Period. And if you're unable to comprehend these simple instructions, we have to do something about it.
Exactly. And see, that's where it goes back to what I was talking about. Like it's on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels too. Like
Interconnection.
there's that connection there, and you can't have one without the other. The little thug trying to rob you on the street to freaking your
You whooping his
emotions.
ass and letting him know that you don't get
No,
down like that, and him being surprised because you're a
I,
girl, and they think,
I, I think I
what
think
in the
I
world
think
is
I
that, Medea?
explained.
It might be, bitch. Don't ever try it
I
again,
think I explained
motherfucker.
it good enough. Now let's talk about the emotional stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that drains you emotionally and leaves you freaking tired and
Suicidal and
yeah.
sleepy, and yeah, and it's so crazy because lately I've been seeing people who are usually way more tired and way unable, way less able to achieve my level of energy, accessing my energy. And I've been, well, I want their money. So I've been allowing them, if because want to get the money. I like, because I mean, like, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? So keep doing what you got to do, honey. I'm on my way to be where you're at, type of thing. But in the regards, I'm still protecting myself because you're only going to get certain things from these things. Like I might just one day blow up and be on live talking about what I know and who is
Mm-hmm.
doing these things to me, and you might not even know that I was aware of it. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't see that coming. Exactly. But speaking of which, I have a show tonight. But it's regards to what you allow, what you accept. And Jaffe even hit on that day we were on Pirate Radio. It's like, yeah, but shouldn't you be able to block stuff? But Miss Anderson was like, yeah, but you're affecting stuff. But stuff affects you as much as you allow it to affect you.
Mm-hmm.
Where as long as you're aware, as long as you're aware. When you're unaware, it's going to affect you as much as it would like to affect you. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, being aware helps so much because I know when they come and they bring my drinks from Wawa and they have stuff in it. Excuse me, certain delivery drivers, they tell me who certain delivery drivers are, how to or certain Uber drivers are, and I'm able to kind of know what I'm getting prior to its arrival, type thing. And it's one of those things to where I share this with the world, and I'm so passionate about it because I do it on a consistent basis. Like I love what you told Choppy. He's like, this is her lifestyle. Like she really like believes in it. She really lives in it,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's the truth. And I think Jaffe knows that as well. And Mr. Anderson definitely.
Well,
But like they
he needed to know that because I think the way he was responding to it, you know, I didn't think he understood. Like this is something you believe in wholeheartedly. It's pretty much every part of your life. That's
Jaffe
why.
likes to play devil's
That's why.
advocate.
Well,
Jaffe
that's
understands more than
why.
he.
That's also why. Like, if you know Karma love too much, you just let her talk.
And then he had to, and he had to, and he had to. But no, not really, because I like to hear what. Because then how am I
Well, I
learning?
mean,
If you're gonna just not, if you're not gonna teach me, then I'm
after
not gonna
that,
interact for too long because I
I
know what I
talk.
know.
I talk with you. Don't go there. I talk with you. We've been doing it right now. But I know that when you're on a run and you're saying what you're saying, it's just best to let you get it out. You know.
Shoot, yeah, because then if, I mean, well, oh, you don't have to, and I accept that too. I don't mind not telling everything, and sometimes I feel like when I get cut off, it's more so the universe saying, "Look, these people deserve to know what you know." And period. I'll be happy to be cut off. I'd be happy to shut up because the messages they come from me, but I'm just a messenger. So if people are not adhering to I'm not mad. No, I don't be upset, and I don't mind stopping at any point
Mm-hmm.
ever. But I also understand that hey, I'm doing you a service, and it's just like I didn't want that. It's like going to the car dealership and they telling you got 50,000
Oh
things
hell.
wrong. You were getting the oil change. You know
You
what I
gotta
mean? And they're like, oh,
gotta
you need new
always bring up
tires.
gotta always bring up the car dealer.
No, I'm just saying because it's the easiest way to describe like separate components working as a whole, and then different areas. Like I said, you
Mm-hmm.
go for an oil change, they tell you you need new rotors, you need new tires, you need like hold on, just change the oil, and that
Just
you know what I
just
mean.
remember what we talked to about receptors in the brain. Okay.
Oh, you mean because of Tesla? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and you
No, I
those
mean
reason
in
why
our
I bring up the
brain.
car dealership is because of the
Remember
connection to Tesla.
we discussed about our brain having receptors that fires off electricity.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if that's what you were meant. And you're not answering the question.
like
Honestly, you're just avoiding
like
it. And that's
you
what you told me
know,
about addiction. Are you addicted to your ability to hide? Are you addicted to your power?
well,
I'm just
like
joking,
a
right?
lot of people a lot of people like to say that addiction has to do with serotonin, and I'm okay with allowing people to get away with that, but the real problem behind addiction is dopamine. Okay.
Hmm.
And those receptors that are in the brain are damaged, and dopamine has to reroute itself within the body so that it can reach the brain because your brain needs dopamine. All right. So every time you have an addiction and it becomes overwhelming, you're damaging pathways that introduces dopamine into your pleasure receptors within the brain. So when you go without like a candy bar, or you go without coffee, or you go without cigarettes, or you go without booze or drugs, that that's when you start feeling upset because you want that freaking gratification in your
Or even
brain.
video games like we were talking about
Right.
yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, and that's the physical aspect about it. Now the
Same with
dopamine,
money.
when you stop doing those things, what happens is your dopamine has to reroute itself to where it can find a path from wherever it's stored to the brain so that it can provide the same pleasures that that candy bar, that soda, that
That's
yeah.
why people pick up new pastimes, studying history or conspiracies, and being able to interact with the universe on a different level in order for them to
Mm-hmm.
be able to avoid what they thought they were missing.
People become sex addicts too, and that's not on a
Oh
joking
man, that's
matter
an
either.
addiction though.
I
No,
mean,
that's sex.
that's
Being a sex
actually
addict is
true.
an addiction. Yeah, I mean, like okay. So I'm
Don't
not saying that
stutter.
I agree with this path, but I've been told I was a sex addict when I was married, and he was as if it was expressed as if it was a problem. But like I wasn't ever going outside of my marriage. But he told me loyalty was determined by my willfulness to have sex with other men and allow him to watch. And that was a part of my life that I actually had to live in order to maintain my marriage. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, then I mean, at some point you get to a point where you're like, I really don't want to do this. Like, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because and I expressed that, you know what I mean, all that. But his reason was because he couldn't keep up with me sexually. He's like, look, I can't, like, I cannot do
I,
what you expect. You
you
know
know,
what I
I
mean?
mean, when it comes to that, that's where the addiction becomes perverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a crack addict who freaking finally had too much crack, or you know how me
And
and
that's
we were talking, and I said I've actually smoked myself freaking sober on pot. You know,
because
people
you
don't.
can't, yeah, you're not getting high anymore.
Right, people don't understand that. Like they don't understand that you could
That
actually
too much
smoke,
sex can make you not want to have sex anymore.
or
Because,
you just don't get the effect. So you have to push
yep.
it further until freaking you finally get that desired uh,
Well,
pleasure.
I think I later found out with him it was because he desired men more than he desired women. But that was the whole. But he, I mean, he's married to a woman. She probably doesn't know. Hopefully, she never hears this podcast. But I mean, and maybe he's changed his ways. Maybe she's changed his. He's changed his way. But that wasn't for me. I didn't get married to have interactions with different men. But it was times to where, like I said, I'd go home and there'd be a man in my room, and he'd lock me in my room, like, "Hey, you have to do this." It wasn't something I ever wanted to do because I was
Hmm.
fine with not having sex. If I was not having sex with my husband, it was something I was forced to do because it was pleasure to my husband. And then being told, hey, there's no such thing as rape in marriage. You kind of have to submit to your husband. This is what you have to do because I'm asking you and you're my wife. And like that
Hmm.
kind of turns your idea off of marriage because it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The next person comes along and it's like, how do I know you're not going to lock me in a room and make me fuck some random guy? And it's
Well,
just like,
we were having that conversation a little while ago. Something that had to do with like people. Well, yeah. What was it a part of where we were talking about people trying to drain you like a
yeah, that's
vampire?
the same
Yeah,
thing.
that
Yeah, it's
same
the
thing.
same as and
Trying
that's
to
what my ex.
trying to pull your energy so that it could build them up, make them stronger. You
He
know.
was my first teacher in this even existing. Like I found out that this was something that was present as a result of being married to him. And then I indulged with it, engaged in order for me to learn more because I know it's just not him. But it was so cool because he would show me the type of things to look for. Once I made him aware, I was aware of what was happening. He never denied it. And that's one thing I respect about him. He let me know, like, oh, you ready to go? Because I guess it's one of those things to where if you're aware of it, you're supposed to be aware of it. If not, it's supposed to just happen to you, especially if you're made aware of it. And what better way to be made aware of it as opposed to it happening to you? So, I mean, like you're experiencing it right now, you still have no idea what's going on. There's no really point to continue this existence with us because you got to at least know what's happening around you if you're ever going to change it. You're never going to change anything if you're not capable of even understanding it. So,
Yeah.
like I said, when I would ask or I would speak up on it, I mean, like it might cause fights, it might cause arguments, but I always got my answers from him. And I appreciate that, and I mean directly, and to this day, I mean, like, to the point to where we have shared them with their children, and to where they're aware of different things that can happen and what they're capable of and could be capable of upon proper training. So
Now,
it's like,
hey,
hmm?
um, before we get off here, I want you to let everybody know when your show is and how to
Oh, I
find
don't
it.
know. It's gonna be tonight sometime. But because I want to say it's gonna be 1 a.m., but if I don't make it at 1 a.m., it'll be 1:44. If I don't make it at 1:44, it'll be 2:34. 2:34 is a good time for me because 2:34 is the continuation of a new existence. But it might be before that because I was actually considering doing it at 11. But I like to do my witching hour shows, and it had been a full moon. Like there was a full moon the other night with Jaffe. It's still kind of, but it's like coming down now a little bit. It's just like and that's why I was upset because I stayed on this line and I didn't sit outside. Not upset, but like, I mean, you have to understand what you can do in a full moon. That's why I've been feeling more like myself lately. Like, and like I said today when I took my nap, I could feel that someone else needed my energy more than I needed it. I was twisting the boy's hair. We're good. We have a lot more control over our life than other people do. Why not having that? Because they would not been able to play on their iPad. Really kind of served everybody in the house kind of justice because look, I get to not really be responsible and they get to not have to worry about me saying no more iPad. Let's get ready for the week. And it's one of those things that they didn't want their hair twisted. I want their hair twisted. It's like no one was really hurt in the making of this nap. And
So
so,
you don't know for sure what time you're having it tonight?
a
Okay.
bunch of different times have already stuck out to me.
Now,
So.
what channel and what platform are you gonna do it on?
Oh, so look, listen, you can
No.
maybe hook me up with mine because look, I can do mine. I can do Rumble. I can do mine straight from Rumble, right? Isn't there a way for me to be able to do that the way I do? Because I put it
We
on.
could do it like this and then stream it into your Rumble.
I don't want to do Jitsi. What do you mean? Oh, you're gonna come on and you're gonna do it. You're gonna come on and.
If I did that, it would go onto my channel. You
But
you would have to stream it straight into Rumble.
from where? You mean if the way I've been doing it on OBS?
Now, what you could do is record it. I could record it for you, but then you would have to do the pre-recording live, like take the recorded video and then just stream it.
I don't know. I'm gonna go because I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on Bigo. I don't know if I'm gonna go on Twitter or whatever it's called. X.
Okay.
They should call it Exodus. If he's gonna call it, if
So-
it
so
means
you-
Exodus, he should be saying Exodus. Like, because X is just ridiculous. Just call it Exodus. Then I have to explain what Exodus is. Yeah. Then you have to explain stuff. Wow, what a teacher you are. And so, like, he should just call it Exodus. And it's aggravating because I don't want to say I'm going X right now. He's laughing in his mind like, everyone's going X. It's not fucking funny. And it's like, so call it Exodus and tell them why it's Exodus and explain it to them so they understand what they're getting into and they might be more into it anyway. But yes, on Twitter.
So
Exodus.
you're thinking about getting on X, formerly Twitter?
Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous. Like, there's so many other things to be doing right now. Yeah,
okay.
I'm there. Bigo, I know I'll be on Bigo. Then the Bigo is where I get my crowd from, and then I get like I don't know, Jaffe show too. Though I get my little and I think Jaffe's on my Twitter too. So maybe like I don't know, he'd catch it, you know what I mean, type of thing. And I'm saying that. So
I'm just saying there ain't too many times I get a chance to know ahead of time that you're doing your videos.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I find
I'll get
out,
in the
it's
inbox.
good.
I'll put it in the inbox when
It's
after I
good to
get
put
set
a
up.
plug out for you too, because like we're actually live streaming right now, so this is,
I know, and I'm listen, catch me if you can type thing. I like you, and it's like you want, and I get why you do that, and that's cool. But at the same time, it's like, man, look, you're gonna find me when it's your time, regardless of it. It is. I always show up at that.
I've already explained that to John. I told him about the synchronicity. I was like, you just let her make her decision when she wants to do it.
It's 1:31 at 1 a.m. I told him 10:31.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's 1:31 to me, but
about everything. Like, I told her you're pretty hardcore on that synchronicity stuff, so that's
means a lot.
Yeah, that's something that he has to just understand.
I walk around certain buildings, certain times. I choose which pole, just for those that be watching, because I know you be watching. I choose which pole when I go to Wawa. They have numbers on them, so there's certain numbers mean certain things. Supreme Mathematics out there, guys. Go ahead, Supreme Mathematics, Supreme Alphabet. And so I walk around certain ways. The left is your receiving side. Certain things are allowed on my left. You might see me go around the trash can a different way because I don't like to receive trash. But if I don't go around, then you'll probably see my fingers do something. Or if it's a person, my biggest thing with a person, if I don't want them on my left side because I can already feel where they're coming from, I make sure that I go ahead and void that out as well. Yeah, no, I'm real big on all of that stuff because
Yeah.
it matters.
I picked up on that stuff. So.
Hey, I bought a cute little fan today. Can you hear it? Can you hear this fan right now? Do you hear it? Oh, okay, so I can use this one. I can't, there's no air in my house right now. I don't understand what's happening here. Landlord was here today to fill up the pool and leave the hose in it, but they have not turned my air back on. I don't know what's happening. It says it's on, it says cool on. I don't know if it ran out of freon. I don't know anything about that stuff. But that's why I was sitting under the fan. And then that was the big fan that I usually have going in the living room. But I bought this cute little one, so and you can't hear it. So good, I can use it because it feels good. It actually works. It's extremely powerful, and it was only $8.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And it's purple. Oh my God, the best part of it. The best part of the story I left out. And
It's
then there's
purple.
this other thing that we were talking about. Yeah, duh, purple. Only purple is the best color in the world. But listen, you know what's so funny is purple is my favorite color. And I was talking about the alpha, omega, and then we were talking about darknesses and lightnesses and stuff like that. And the alpha being at the bottom, which is funny because its color is red. And guess what color the omega point is? I bet you can guess.
Purple.
Yes!
Yeah.
And guess what number it is? 700 plus. And it's just so great that 7 is God, and we already know that. So it's just like, oh, wow, okay, so I really did do this, and now there's a chart. And so that's great. What's up, boy?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because we're going on an hour and a half now. So.
Yeah, and they trying to sneak up on me and ask me to spend more money. Like, I ain't already spent money on stuff on Minecraft this weekend. They think they slick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're going to have to get regrouped because I don't know where they thought they was going to come in here, ask me to spend money on a Sunday like it's Friday. And,
Yeah.
it's free? Oh, Among Us. Now, let's talk about this because I'm not going to do it. I know I'm going to say no. Anyway. No, stop asking me stuff. We're done at work. All right, I apologize. You're going to have to edit out our ad-libs.
Oh, that's fine. This is all live, so we're just gonna keep it in there.
Oh, so there's not gonna be an edit. Oh, okay, well, yeah, hi, there's Ethan Rock. But all right,
yeah,
looking crazy with their clips in their head. All right, yeah, let me get back to work. It's really, really hot in here. I wish someone could come to fix my air. It's hot.
I'm gonna go ahead and end it. You want to say bye so you can take care of business?
I don't say bye because bye is fine. And once I say bye to you, you know I'm not coming back. But yeah, see you later, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll inbox you at the time I'm about to start the show. I'll give you like a 15-minute warning. So if you can pop up, you can pop up, and I'll drop links consciously so that way I can. You know what I mean? Well, You'll see me on Rumble. You'll see, but you know how to get to me. You know how to view it. You just don't know when to view it. So yeah, okay, that's it. I'll tell you when I'm gonna do it.
All right.
Hey, don't come messing with my features and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna be fine tonight, so don't make me unfine. I'm coming there doing all that. You know what I'm saying? All that techno stuff, like making me weird and stuff. I'm no problems. You know what I'm saying?
I know you got you got your routine.
Yeah, I think about going red tonight. I think I'm gonna go red tonight. I ain't done it yet, but I was thinking I was gonna go ahead and do my hair. That's why it might be so late to show, because I ain't done it yet. And so I was thinking I was gonna do my hair, and I might just turn it red because I got some red in there. I just ain't been wearing it. I just I think I'm gonna go ahead and get it right. I had it for a long time. I ain't worn it at all, so I just want to see what I could do with that. And I don't know. I'll see what I do. I don't know. I ain't made no choices yet.
All right.
I'll let you know.
See you later, babe.
All right, have a good night. Be safe.
You too. See you guys later, and thanks for being here.